Hi everybody. The word for today is sign. Hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and I am on my way to go sign the documents to sell my house and to purchase the place I've been living in the last month. Now, I don't mind telling you that I got up I made sure that I had a good night's sleep, and I did, because I'm sure you all know doing something like this is horrendously scary, and because it is scary, takes a toll on your body. So I wanted to make sure I got a good night's sleep. And for the second morning in a row, the scammers phoned me at 8 o'clock in the morning, which I guess I was grateful for in some way. But I tried to take it easy this morning so that I would not get myself too stressed. And then round about midday, and my appointment is for 4 o'clock, so around about midday, I suddenly get a call from the conveyancer, that's the person dealing with the documents, and to say some technical question that luckily I had the answer to. And there was part of me that wanted to have a little conniption about the fact, why the did you wait this long to ask me that question? But it's not going to fix it, people. So I just took a really deep breath and then I went, I think I can find that information for you. Give me maybe an hour. And I did manage to get it. Phew. And then, you realize they send you all the documents to read. Well, I got news for you. You can go cross-eyed reading one legal document, never mind two. So, at some point you have to, but this is what I do, because it's the only way you can survive it, really, is to realize that a lot of legal documents are what they call boilerplate. And what does boilerplate mean? It means that it's the same for everybody. All the paragraphs are the same. They'll do another one in 10 minutes. All those paragraphs will be the same. The only thing that really changes are all the pertinent facts, like who am I, the correct registration number of my, whatever it is. All those sort of things are the things that they change. So those are the things you go for. And anything that they have checkmarked, I noticed, for example, that they checkmarked something, and I'm not quite sure, and I've told them, I'm not quite sure whether that is correct, and I've asked them to check on it before I get there. Plus, they made an assumption that Yvonne had paid me full rent for the month, and she didn't. I asked her not to. I asked her just to pay me pro rata. What is pro rata? That's the amount of money for the amount of days that I actually owned the house. That's called pro rata. So that's for the number of days, right? So you might pay interest on something pro rata. You will only pay it for the number of days that you have the loan, for example. All right, so there I was, busy finding these things. And the funny thing is, I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but when you're dealing with a lot of zeros at the end, it makes it that many times, incrementally, that many more times scary. And so then you're sort of looking at it all and going, I hope to heck I have not missed anything. That there was some little doodad somewhere that could end you up in prison or something, because you didn't tell the truth. And I'm not that I think that would happen, but it's just like, I don't have many major fears in my life, but for some reason I do have a fear of legal documents. And it's an unrealistic fear because I probably understand them better than most people. But I think because I understand them, I have a bigger fear. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. Is there anybody else that has a fear of signing legal documents with a lot of zeros in the end? Or am I just a wuss, you know? And some of you are saying, give me the opportunity, Sal. I'd like that opportunity. I know. And so that's what I keep reminding myself, that an awful lot of people in the world would love to be as scared as I am right now. You know, they're going, yeah. So, let me think what happens now. I'm not quite sure. I do know that tomorrow the cleaners are going in, and I will go with them and do the decks, because I don't think they'll do the decks. So I was going to do it today, but you know, I decided this is, you know, doing what I'm doing today is enough for one day, on the scary scale and what it will do to my mindset. And I gave myself permission not to do anything but that one step. Now, I do want to tell you about unpacking, in case any of you don't know this. Unpacking becomes a bit of a addiction. I'd have to say that. You know, you say to yourself, I'm only going to do one box. So you do the one box, and then you see something in the next box, and you think, oh, I can put that away. And then you find, and the next time you go to the washroom, you pass the box again, and you see something else, and you think, oh, I know where that's going to go. And so it goes, next thing you know, there's another box that's empty. Now, it's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But, you know, just doing one box a day isn't really possible. So my goal for today when I get back is to actually do what I did yesterday. And what I did yesterday was I ate really well. What did I have for dinner? Well, first of all, for a treat yesterday, I let myself have chow mein. It's my weekly treat now to have chow mein. Because the local place where I shop, you know, makes a really good chow mein. And then what I did was for dinner, I had half a steak, a good steak, and didn't have potatoes. I had half a steak with fried onions and something else. Carrots. I actually grilled some carrots. So they were very tasty indeed. I really enjoyed that. Now, what did I have for dessert? Oh, I made myself a milkshake for dessert. Now, the reason I did that was because I'm trying to use up some of the things that I've got in my cupboard that I'm going, you know, they've been there a long time. So either I'm going to use them or I'm going to huck them. Now, you know, I'm not good at hucking things, so I'm going to use them. The same thing as I found quite a bit of hot chocolate type powders of varying sorts. You know, some was chocolate milk, and some of it was hot chocolate, and some of it was pure chocolate. And you know what I said? I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit on top of my coffee every day, and that will help use it up. And the first thing I'm doing is putting it all into one jar that says chocolate. I don't care what sort. Just let's get it all into one jar. What else did I do this morning? I also took some of my many teas. I really have a lot of tea. I have, you know, it was funny that one of the mover guys said, you wouldn't have any tea, would you? And I said, yes. Were we thinking like orange pekoe or English breakfast, or are we thinking, you know, herb teas? And he said, well, actually, I wonder whether you have an herb tea. And I said, sure. And I said, what would be your preference? And he said, peppermint. And I said, I can do peppermint. That's what he got. But the funniest thing, I don't think I mentioned that. The funniest thing was whilst I was making the guys coffee and teas, I then made myself, one of my famous lattes. And I thought their eyes were going to come out on stalks when they saw the foam that I was putting on top of my coffee. And so the next time I said, does anybody need coffee? It was a very sheepish looking mover guy. I can't remember who was the first one, Tommy probably, who said, could I have one of those ones like you made for yourself? I said, sure, no problem. Well, that started a run. Then everybody wanted one, as they wanted the next coffee. And I nearly ran out of coffee and milk. In fact, I think I did run out of milk. The last round I had to give them the way I make mine with powdered milk. I make my powdered milk into the foam. It makes really great foam. So it was quite funny. Anyway, so that's what I was doing. I also took one shoebox and I put quite a bit of the teas and stuff into the shoebox and put it away for, I'm going to shop at, what is it that Beth said, shop at in her own pantry. Yeah. So I now know where to shop for teas and coffee in my own pantry. Great. Something, Beth, I really am getting that. I'm going to, I've decided I'm going to eat out of my own pantry. And once a week I will allow myself to go and buy something for a treat, in terms of like maybe a steak or something nice. But other than that, I'm going to eat out of the pantry and the freezer. Obviously, I'm doing well with the freezer. I'm quite surprised. I'm making roads. There's actually, wiggle room in one of the shelves at the moment, which was surprising. I actually opened it up and went, oh. I don't have to press it down to shut the drawer. I'm sleeping incredibly well. Well, except for the scammers at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm sleeping really well, and I think it's because I'm exhausted. And, I always remember a comment that I heard said somewhere from a military person one day who said, one of the things they do when they have boot camp is they don't let the soldiers anywhere near their beds during the day. Right? They keep them busy all day. They keep them on their feet, moving, doing stuff, So when they go to the dorms at night, bunk rooms, whatever they call them, they collapse and sleep. And there's no messing around. They actually go fast asleep very quickly. And, I think that's part of what's happening. What I'm also trying to do, and I know this is going to be really weird for some of you, after 20 years of working my computer from my bedroom, I really find it pleasant to sit in front of the fire with the television above it and use my computer there. I've been doing my editing there. I hope you've been enjoying the vlogs. Anyway, I've been doing the editing there and doing a lot of the updates there. Sorry, I heard a noise that I wasn't quite sure what it was. And going to bed, I found out that with the way that my bed's set up now, I can put my little, my tablet. I can put my tablet at just next to my pillow. Literally at eye level, as I put my head down, and I can go to sleep watching, one of Heartland Hills and another, eligible prince in Europe who knew they had so many, whatever type movie that will send me straight to sleep. And I literally, I've been watching a couple of them, for over a week now, because every time I put my head on the pillow, I go, oh yeah, that one. Where was I? There. And I started, and then next day I go, where was I? Same place. There. And then the next. So, it's obviously working. The funny noise I can hear is in the back. Not quite quite sure what I got in the back there. I think it's in the very back. I put some stuff in there. Now, I wanted to thank JG for making a comment about the fact that I had covered up vents. You know, he made a point of saying that, you know, you need to be a little bit careful because it's going to put a strain on the heat exchanger. And, you know, I thought about that, and I thought it's a good point. And so plan B will be that as soon as I can find my chop saw, one of those type things, I'm going to cut myself some blocks of wood, which I've got plenty, I believe. I'm going to cut myself some blocks of wood and just literally the next time somebody comes to visit me, I'm praying somebody does, I'll get them to help me lift each unit, one side at a time, and put it under a couple of blocks, and then lift the other side, put under a couple of blocks, and that way they will be above, you know, there'll be a gap. It doesn't have to be a lot. That's what I realized. It doesn't need to be a lot of space. It just needs circulation space. So that's the plan. So JG, thank you very much indeed. I did check it with Mr. Google, and they did recommend not having them covered. But you know, I think we've all had it where, you know, I haven't always had all mine open either, so it's about the same. So I'm not going to worry about one or two being covered. I'm going to try and make sure. The other thing I'm doing is having a look to see which ones are covered that I can maybe move something slightly 6 inches so I've got half of it open so that the air can get out. So I think already this morning I did a good job. Now the question is to find other ones. And some of them I won't be able to uncover until the boxes have gone, so that's just the way it is. Thank you for letting me talk to you while I distract myself from what I'm about to do. This is DearMamaSal saying, I'll see you in a bit.